I could hear someone behind me go, blah, 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 Tyson, blah, 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 Kyedae. And I was like, what are they saying? I got like so scared. I was just like flipping through the clothing.
I am a bear, Matt. I am a bear, and there is an absolute audience out there for a bear licking a microphone, licking an ear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CouRage and Nadeshot Show here live from, well, the comfort of our own homes or the 100 Thieves Cash App compound where Nadeshot currently is. My name is Jack Courage Dunlop, and today is one of those great episodes where we say, hey, you know what? Who's in the family that hasn't been on the CouRage and Nadeshot Show that can join us here today? And it's none other than breakout superstar streamer, content creator, with over 570,000 Twitch followers, 300,000 YouTube subs, and recently, as back in April, joined 100 Thieves, the content creator. She is the one, the only Kyedae. Kyedae, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How about you?
You know, I'm doing great now that I get to be here and speak with you all, because I'll be honest, I've been a complete bum today. I've done nothing leading up to this point in my day. It's a day off from streaming. So actually socially speaking to other people right now feels really good.
I'm jealous. That sounds great. I was telling Kyedae, as soon as I got on the call, we haven't chatted since she left LA after we had her crazy announce week where we were filming a ton. We obviously got to roll out the announcement really, really well. People were super excited for you to join 100 Thieves, but I feel like so much has happened in such a short amount of time between that moment you joined and speaking to you now on the podcast. So I'm really, really excited. Like, there are a ton of relevant things too that I think are super topical. I think the one that stands out to me the most is TenZ winning Ragnarok, as I call it, because I don't know how to pronounce the city in Iceland that it is. But for anybody that's not aware, TenZ, who is Kyedae's boyfriend and sort of like her gateway, I would say, into gaming. You started streaming and found that you love streaming when you guys moved in together, if I remember correctly, when you and I sat down together and chatted about that at the compound. But he won the biggest Valorant tournament in the world that has happened thus far. You didn't get to go with him, though, right?
No, I wasn't able to because of the COVID restrictions. Yeah, kind of sucked.
Yeah, I get it, but I would imagine that the celebration was worth the wait when he got home. What did you guys get into?
It was great. Yeah. So like all of the matches, I actually went over to his grandparents' place and watched them there. So it was really nice. They got to hear my really loud side and they're super sweet people. I was actually supposed to pick Tyson up from like the terminal because we live on an island in Canada. So you have to like ferry over or plane back. It's like just so complicated. But I actually like woke up and he FaceTimed me and he was like, hi, do you mind coming to pick me up? So I opened the door and he was right there. So he like taxied back already. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, we had to do a 2-week mandatory quarantine together. So that was pretty boring. But after that, we went out for a nice dinner and just got to relax. So yeah, it was great.
Amazing. I actually love the innocence and the special moment it must have been to share that with his grandparents and watch all those matches take place together. Because I'm sure that they didn't understand a damn thing that was going on. I feel like Valorant does a pretty good job from a spectating perspective, though, where you can somewhat follow it. But if you're not in the know or spend time playing the game, following that action must be really difficult. Were they super? I mean, TenZ has had a career in esports prior to Valorant, so they have to be open to the world of possibilities that Valorant had to bring and the event and the scale of it. What was it like trying to translate what was happening for them?
So it's funny that you bring that up because like prior to Valorant, he played CSGO. They were into CS like more than me. They knew more about the game than I did. They knew all the players, like who was getting picked up from different organizations, and like that'd be like the table talk all the time. And so when they switched over to Valorant, there were a lot of CS players that went over as well. So they still had like prior knowledge, but the game was kind of difficult to pick up on. But I would say they actually know quite a bit.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So you came into the fold like the old grandparents at first. They were sending CS:GO to you. That's unbelievable. They must be pretty young and hip then. I mean, TenZ is a little younger, right? How old are they? Do you have any idea?
They're like around 60 years old.
Oh, okay. That's how old my dad is. So.
Yeah.
Holy shit, 60. Man, I am so jealous. My dad's almost 60.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
You have grandparents that were that age, right?
I mean, that would be awesome. But no.
Young family. That's
right.
I'm glad that you guys got to spend a ton of time together. I have a lot of other questions relating to Valorant, but really quickly, we have to say thank you to the one and only Cash App for sponsoring this podcast and the 100 Thieves compound that I'm currently at. You can see the sign behind me. So if you didn't know, this show is brought to you by Cash App. If you don't use Cash App, then fuck you. Cash App is the easiest way to send money to your friends, but Cash App does way more than that. You can buy stocks and Bitcoin on Cash App, as well as invest with automatic purchases daily, weekly, and monthly, allowing you to own a piece of stock with just $1. Also, remember when you sign up for Cash App and use the promo code THIEVES, THIEVES, not only will you receive $10, but Cash App will also donate $10 to the Gamers Outreach Foundation. So remember to use the promo code THIEVES when you download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play Store today. Okay, so
we need to come to Canada, though. Like, come on now.
Yeah, hey, listen. I'm not Moses here. I can't, bend the diplomatic intricacies of fintech companies here. Moses in the Red Sea, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I guess splitting the Red Sea applies to getting fintech companies in Canada. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, I was looking at the border of, the United States and Canada as like the Red Sea and opening it up to American fintech companies like Cash App. Do you understand now where my head was at?
Yeah, no, I'm getting that. I am getting that.
A little bit of an obscure reference, but I still feel like we got to where we needed to get. So obviously with Ragnarok happening in Iceland and the biggest event taking place, it actually just leaked today, or people are making assumptions that the World Championship in December will be taking place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, which is obviously home base for 100 Thieves and the team that you truly need to have your loyalty with in sports, because you're contractually obligated to. And until you and TenZ are married, I won't. I'm going back on my original stance that you're allowed to cheer for TenZ. You had your moment.
He's won enough.
It's our turn now. So, how are you feeling about Valorant and the World Championship in LA? Is that something that you'd be excited about? Have you been to Staples Center before? Have you seen the scale that they had for like the League of Legends World Championship like 5-6 years ago at the Staples Center? What is your take on this whole situation?
No, I'm like super excited. I've actually never been to a LAN tournament before, and that's why I was really wanting to go to Iceland, Reykjavik, or however you pronounce it. But yeah, no, it'll be really cool if they're allowing like a live audience. Because
that'd be nuts.
Yeah, like Tyson has showed me like on YouTube like all the openings for like the League of Legends Worlds and stuff, and like the crazy stuff that they do. So I think it'd be like super cool.
Oh, it's a completely different experience of like being there. The crazy pop-off moments happen, the crowd roar. Like,
yeah,
I think that's been the thing that I've missed most, whether it's normal sports or esports, is the actual crowd being there and being involved, because it is second to none. Like it elevates the experience tenfold when there's a huge crowd roar, when they can cut to crowd shots, people going crazy. And I genuinely will be really interested to see for certain players that have now really blown up in Valorant, who might not have a ton of stage experience, if that nervousness can get to them of playing in front of a live crowd on a main stage, because it's a completely different beast. From speaking to Call of Duty players myself, there's a huge discussion of online versus LAN versus, closed event, to having a huge crowd there. I think that would be super thrilling, and will be interesting to see how everyone reacts to it. I mean, Staples Center, catch me in a box, chicken fingers in hand, rooting for 100 Thieves.
Well, we got to make it first. We got to make it. Yeah. Look, I think everything that Jack said is absolutely true. There is a wild difference, like an incredible difference in watching a tournament online and actually being at an event. Even just like sensory overload, right? Not only as a player, but as like a spectator, because you get to hear the crowd. They have the music and the commentary like piping through the actual broadcast speakers of the arena or venue that you're playing in. Like, there's just no other atmosphere than main stage matches when everything is on the line. So if you thought you were nervous watching with grandparents, in Canada while he was in Iceland, I can't even explain or begin to explain how nervous you'll be watching it in a live spectator format.
And I think it's going to be so cool. No, if you guys think that I was loud during the watch parties on stream, get ready for in real life. Holy.
I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not with her. We're not with her. Sorry. Yeah, that'll be no, that'll be exciting.
What Riot needs to do? What Riot needs to do is they with everything, with all the success that they've had with co-streaming. Kyedae, I know that you got to co-stream maybe like one of the tournaments. I know you didn't get to do Iceland.
Yeah.
But now that they've seen so much success with it, I wonder what it would look like for them to have a live broadcast at Staples with streamers who have co-broadcasted in the past and really just like give a more laid back approach to the tournament setting and letting them kind of just banter back and forth while the matches are being played out. I definitely would be cognizant or ask them to be cognizant of like taking away from the competitive integrity that casters bring to events, because I think that builds so much more suspense. But can you imagine if there was a way for you to do like an IRL stream in the Staples Center while the matches were going on? I think that would be incredibly successful for not only you, but Riot as well.
No, I think that'd be a super cool idea. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people like to spectate, especially like esports at a more like professional level in a sense, with the casting. But I feel like it's kind of a 50-50 split. Like some people really like to watch like the watch parties with Shroud just talking, or like Myth and like what they bring to the table. So I don't know. I think it'd be like a really cool idea.
Yeah, I will say too, I have a hard time personally. I guess I think this is just my pride getting in the way of how they've gone through the decision-making process to basically like king creators in the community and say, hey, you have co-broadcasting rights and you are the only 5 people that get to do this, right? Because I'm looking at some of the people that they had co-broadcasting and I'm like, well, in the last month, I've played more Valorant than 3 of them combined. So how did they come down to this decision-making process and allowing them to have the rights? And I totally understand it from like a business perspective. If you're trying to grab a creator or personality that has a segmented audience in like a different place that isn't Valorant and trying to bring new eyes over to the competitive love and spirit of the game. But I guess in a way, I'm sure that there's other creators that spend all their time on Valorant, maybe feel slighted about Riot really, dividing and conquering, I guess, the community itself. It's just been such an interesting thing as like a businessman and also a creator looking back like, I wonder what those talks are like internally.
Yeah, I honestly am not 100% sure, because I remember when they had announced the people that were going to be co-streaming like the event for Iceland. A lot of people weren't super happy. I won't like really get into all of it, but I would have loved to have seen like Dicey do it, for instance. But the nice thing is that like Pokimane, who did get perms, she brings on like other people. And at the end of the day, it is like business where they want to kind of have like a broader group of people kind of, learn more about the game, I guess, not just the Valorant community itself, kind of widen the perspective.
I am team Kyedae gets co-streaming rights. Okay? I'm deeming you allowed to, actually. I have the exclusive ability to do that. So
love that. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free. If you get a lawsuit, just throw out the mail and it goes away. No, so I think the future of Valorant looks super bright. We were talking a little bit about some of the changes coming tomorrow. As of recording this, it's the day before the act ends, and there's been some patch notes, or I don't know if it's leaks, or I actually haven't seen official wording, but of all these changes coming, and we mentioned it a little bit prior to us actually recording, but I want to make sure we brought it up here. There's some pretty substantial changes coming to the game in regards to ultimate abilities being more expensive with orbs, actual abilities costing more, and making it a much more gunplay heavy focus game. What are your thoughts on that, Kyedae? And is it something that you think the game needs?
I think it is. Like, I remember it's kind of like memed because it's like abilities don't kill is what it used to be. But it's like the Raze ult, for instance, Boombot, grenades, mollies, like all of this post-plant lineup stuff is just like the way you die nowadays instead of actual like gunfighting. Yep. So I think it's really smart what Riot is doing, where they're making it more like a tactical FPS rather than just like all these abilities kind of being thrown at you and everything. But in a sense, it is what kind of differentiated like CS from Valorant.
Yeah.
But I do like the changes. I think it'll be really interesting to see how it kind of goes. And same with like running and gunning. Oh my God. Thank goodness that got nerfed. Because I'm in lower elo and people just shoot and are running like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And it's like somehow hitting my head. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, there's been some toxic moments with that. There's also been a new map teased in the 1-year anniversary trailer. There's also been a new leveling system that's been teased on the Valorant broadcast itself today. They brought up the potential for end of act tournaments, which really, really excites me from a person that definitely will never go pro. But you know, we've already seen the new agent get shown off a bit. But from the tournament perspective, I don't know if you've ever seen this, Kyedae, but in League of Legends, it's my favorite thing, and I have to talk about it because I'm so excited. In League of Legends, there's this thing called Clash. Every few weeks, they'll do a Clash. It puts you in. You make a team with your friends. You make a team name, and it puts you in an 8-team tournament of people of similar skill. You literally pay for a ticket for entry, and you win in-game prizes like skins, skin codes, stuff to redeem and buy in the shop, stuff like that. So it's super fun. And now it looks like they've perfected that or gotten it very, very good in League and are now bringing a similar system over to Valorant, which will give you the ability to, let's say, hey, end of season, I'm silver. Well, I'm going to go and get 4 of my silver friends. We're going to make a team with our team name. And now we're going to load in and try to win this in-game tournament. And it's all done in-game. It gives you like a scouting report on your opponents for 5 minutes. So you can say, hey, we know that this team likes to play Cypher on Bind. You know, what can we do? Do we want that to happen? Yada, yada. But I think if that gets added to Valorant, it's going to, like, Riot just is making such good strides for the game that it's just going to continue to take over. And this is a prime example of like in-game things that everyone will be hyped about and will continue to keep people on the game. It's just so well done. So I had to say my piece. I'm sorry.
No, I completely agree with you. I feel like Riot just does such a good job of also listening to like other like community people as well.
Yeah.
Like for instance, they try to always get like input of other pros, other content creators and everything. And like it's just been a breeze like working with them, and they're absolutely amazing. And they always are trying to make things like better, or they're always like they're constantly changing it. So it's never boring.
Yep.
Like as for instance, like with Valve with CS, like I don't know.
It does get stale for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I completely agree. And they're making a good job. They're doing a good job of acting fast. People care about the ranks. Like people want to rank up. They want to see their progress. You can see your previous acts and how you've done. So, you know, from a Valorant side,
I think what we're seeing, not to cut you off, Jack, but I like literally completely agree with you. I mean, if there was any developer now that I would trust with like a competitive shooter, it would be Riot. I mean, the proof was already in the pudding with League of Legends and how they handled and fostered such an incredible, successful game from an esports perspective. But now with how quickly Valorant are rolling out new content, new changes, new ranking systems, new experiences for competitive integrity. I mean, even like new champions, they got this damn robot coming out, and they just leaked today Deadeye, who looks fucking awesome, by the way. Have you guys seen this yet?
No, wait.
I just saw a little tease thing on the Valorant Reddit, like a leak of it. I didn't know how legit it was.
Named Deadeye has been teased in the 1-year anthem, and he looks like it's the Joker colors, like pink and green, or the purple and green that the Joker wears, and he's got like it looks like he's got karma signs, if anybody's watching Boruto, around his eyes, and oh man, the waifus are gonna go crazy over Deadeye. They're gonna be simping over this man, because I already am.
Yeah, he looks fucking sick. That's some shit that Vega's gonna want to play so bad.
Oh, dude, no, I mean, the insta-lock on Deadeye is gonna be crazy. I can already tell.
I think the fascinating thing with Riot as a whole is, I don't know if you remember when Valorant was announced, it was during their big like own press conference, and they've really have, for me, become the development team that has now taken over for PC development. Like Blizzard was once the shining star of everything PC, right? They had they had Diablo, they had World of Warcraft, they have all these different things, and while Blizzard is still doing, you know, okay, I think a lot of their games are on the decline, and it's come out that even during the pandemic, when everyone was playing games, Blizzard games actively lost a percentage of their players, which is pretty telling for the state of their games. Overwatch, no one really cares about. Heroes of the Storm is dead. StarCraft 2 is dead. Hearthstone is in a
hold on. Don't say StarCraft 2 is dead, because a lot of people are going to get mad at you like they did.
Well, sorry, they're no longer developing for the game. Sure, they might have more down the road, but now from a Riot side, you go to their website, and this was a company that only had League of Legends. Now they've got a huge game in Valorant. League of Legends Wild Rift is now on mobile, that I know a lot of people are playing. They have their card game, Legends of Runeterra, which I think has had its ups and downs. Teamfight Tactics is also, another game that they have. And we know that they're making their own MMO led by Ghostcrawler, which is going to be massive. I mean, this could be the MMO that finally puts, Final Fantasy has done it, but can really be the biggest game in the world in that genre. And it's wild to think of what Riot now is. And I completely agree. Like, I have full faith in them to continue to excel with these games. Like, sure, they're going to have some tough moments, but for the most part, for League of Legends, and League of Legends is still the game it is today, and it's been going on for 12 years or 11 years. Valorant continues to trend upward. They've got all these games in the pipeline. They're fucking crushing it, man. It's exciting to see.
Oh, they are. No, it's great. And especially when like they decide to like franchise like they have with League of Legends, that's gonna make like Valorant even bigger. No, it's crazy.
It's absolutely nuts. And I know we talked a lot about Valorant, but now I want to ask you something, Kyedae.
Yeah.
You've had I think it's safe to say a lot of your blow up has come in the pandemic, right? Like a lot of your following, and so you're saying you haven't gone to a LAN yet. I don't even know if you've ever been to a convention or anything like that, like an E3. So I think this is fascinating because we've had this conversation about, there's been like, we had Bella Porch in the podcast. Prior to the pandemic, she had 0 following. Now she has almost 100 million followers across social media. Like her whole life pre and post pandemic is completely nuts. What has it been like from a fame standpoint? Have you started to feel or experience the difference in now your life from a fame standpoint of getting asked for photos and being recognized in public? How's that been for you?
I feel like more than anything, it didn't really 100% sink in until I actually went over to LA to film some stuff. Prior to it, I didn't get really recognized too much. I live in a really small town as well. So it's kind of nice. Like Tyson and I can both go out and he won't even get recognized either. Or it's like very rare that either of us do. But yeah, when I was in LA, one of my days off when we were just like sightseeing and just like going around and shopping, I got recognized like 7 times. And it was like a lot for me. And I was just like really surprised. It's kind of funny because a lot of people, especially like in Valorant, like when I'm playing ranked, they recognize my voice right away.
Oh yeah.
And I always thought that was like super strange. I was like, do I have like a really distinct voice? And like I had my mask on, we were in public and we were shopping for like shirts, and I could hear someone behind me go, blah, 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 Tyson, blah, 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 Kyedae. And I was like, what are they saying? I got like so scared. I was just like flipping through the clothing. And then they like walk up to us and they're like, hey, can we get a photo with you? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, yeah, I recognized your voice. And I was like, what?
Yep.
No, so it just like, it blew my mind. And,
well, that's exactly how it'll be.
Good luck.
What'd you say, Matt? Your mic cut out.
I said there's no going back, so good luck.
Yeah, right.
It's like a new experience for you now. And I feel very fortunate just because I don't think I'll ever reach the level of fame as like modern day like A-list celebrities, you know what I mean? Saying like Justin Bieber and Eminem, people like that. They complain that exposure to fans in their life being everywhere under a microscope, there's nowhere to run from it, and it's caused a lot of issues. But I think that's the beautiful thing about creators in the digital space. It's like you can relatively live like a normal life, and sometimes you might get people that notice you, but the bigger and bigger you get, the worse it gets. So I'm curious that I would actually be very interested to hear from creators that have reached like upper echelon, right, of just exposure and how that has affected their life. Like I would love to ask somebody like Mr. Beast. Jack and I went to we went to an event he held, and we went out to a restaurant later that night. And I'm not kidding, almost like 50% of the people in that restaurant, when they found out who he was, would come up to him while he was eating. And it's wild to me. It's like, I wonder what that's like for David Dobrik. I wonder what's that's like for, any other creator that, to me, just is in a step above the rest. So good luck, Kyedae. Good luck, because it seems like things are not going to be slowing down anytime soon for you.
I don't know. It'll be really interesting. It's definitely like a learning step, and like, I'm not saying that I hate or anything, but it's definitely something to get used to. Like, it's taking a lot to like comprehend. Or when people say that they look up to me, for instance, I feel like a lot of people forget I'm 19 years old, and like, I'm still so young. It's like, I don't know. It just baffles my mind in a sense. But
I would actually, I would love to speak my piece on that alone too. When you say that you're 19 years old and people don't realize how young you are, I would say, from my perspective or my personal life, what I tell people is I'd probably change the most from like the ages 21 to 25. I feel like that's when I dealt with the most real life situations that really mold you into the person that you'll become. And so 19, to me, like, you're not even at the ledge yet when you got to jump off and be an adult. So tons of credit to you, and a lot of these young creators, even I think in the Fortnite community, came up really young and have had a lot of responsibilities on their shoulders. You just don't have enough perspective on how the world actually exists and how you have to interact with the masses and how you need to carry yourself as a person. And it's a lot of pressure that I don't think people will ever have the insight as to how difficult it can be. It's like when Clicks and a bunch of these other guys said some dumbass shit that should never be said on like a social platform. It's like, I think back to when I was 16, I'm like, oh my God, it really is a different world. It's hard to explain. Like, I'm not giving people like the benefit of the doubt or the excuse, but it's easy to say, oh, I wasn't like that when I was 16. I feel like the world on the internet is so much different now. And so it's a weird phenomenon that I'm genuinely interested in. And now that we're talking with you, 19, it just kind of sparked in my mind.
No, 100%. And I feel like, I don't know, especially when you put yourself out on the internet, everybody wants to psychoanalyze every little thing. And it's like, it's so weird to me. I remember when Tyson and I first started like streaming together, oh my, like, the weirdest shit I got. You're a gold digger, like, you're a clout chaser, and all of this stuff. And like, it never dawned upon me that someone would ever think these things of me, because all of Tyson's family knows, all of my family knows like the truth and like our relationship and everything. And so it was like really tricky to kind of like understand, or like the reason why that I would get this hate that I did. And, like, people still think it. And like, I had talked to like my parents yesterday, and I was just like, yeah, it's still really tricky, or like all this hate that I get. And they're like, do not take advice from people do not take criticism from people you would not take advice from, is what they said. And that like stuck with me. And I was just like, yeah,
Oh, trust. It's a great piece of advice. And for what it's worth, I can tell you that basically every creator goes through it. You can get 1,000 positive comments, but one negative comment is like the thing that'll just stick with you for some reason. And it's so toxic in your mental health. So, if I have any advice, it's that exact same thing. Is the truth. And the people that you care for know the truth. Maddie had to deal with similar things when we started dating. And she's not even a streamer or involved in video games. So it's crazy how people like to make assumptions and tear others down because they have no way of getting out of their miserable situation that they find themselves in because they're such a negative person. So it's all about the energy you put out and reciprocate. So, back to the thing I brought up of fame, what would you say? What would you say you're most excited for with it? Like, I remember when I first started to blow up with Fortnite, I was so amped to just get to like a TwitchCon, for example, or the E3 Pro-Am and meet my audience, like finally get to meet people in my community. What's that for you?
No, I'm the exact same way. I just want to meet people. I'm such a face-to-face person that this whole streaming thing, or like just COVID in general, has just messed up my perception of just like human interaction. And so like, I just can't wait to meet people, or like my fans, or like my true followers, and the people that like love like, you know, watching me or like love watching Tyson and I, and just like, I don't know, give them a big hug, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's such a great feeling, and you guys are gonna have a blast. I think it's gonna be real interesting because, like, let's say at TwitchCon, for example, I think one of the most mind blowing things for me was that my last TwitchCon, I was told by my agency and by Twitch that I like legally wasn't allowed to go to the event floor without security because it would be a fire hazard. And like that's gonna be the same way for you and Tyson as well. Like at your first, you will be going under the venue around the side doors. You'll be you'll go for your designated meet and greet, but like I think it'll be pretty eye opening that like you actually have limitations that you won't be able to do due to the size of your following. That I think a lot of creators have now experienced, especially as this has gone so big. So you're not going to be able to experience your first TwitchCon as a nobody or your first event as a nobody. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that one.
People nobodies? God damn, Jack.
Oh my God.
Been on YouTube too long.
Wait, sorry. Okay. I don't mean it like that. I just mean
I know.
Geez, when you put it that way, yeah, I sound like I have an ego. All right, these fucking losers. You're not going to an event as a loser. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a completely different experience. Like when you go there with a huge social media following, and when you don't, when you can just go and do all the little things at the event. Like I used to go to the MLG conventions, and I'd be at the Stride Gum booth and getting a damn T-shirt made, and then going into the crowd and sitting there. It's like I don't get to do those things at conventions anymore because like I'm legally not allowed to. I would be swarmed the whole time. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, you'll definitely experience that firsthand too.
Well, I'll tell you what. Who's not going to be at the future at TwitchCon? Amouranth and Indiefoxx. This is
Amouranth.
Amouranth, dude.
You know what's
Come
funny?
on.
I've seen her on Twitch for years and years. Like I've never actually watched it. Hand to God. I don't listen. I don't know anything about her. So I don't have an opinion on this matter. But I think it'd be silly if we didn't at least talk about it. I feel like in the last year and a half, community sentiment against Twitch has just toppled over. People used to be so supportive and they loved Twitch and it was the greatest platform that ever existed. And I feel like in the last year and a half, with a lot of new trends that have started on Twitch, they are taking a lot of heat for a lot of the ambiguity that they have in their terms of service and a lack of consistency when it comes to the firm hand of discipline and suspensions. And there's just been so much drama caused around people being banned. Obviously, I think Dr. Disrespect being one of the biggest, nobody really understanding why he got banned, where he went, and what was the cause of it. But, just chatting and then the hot tub streaming. And now in the last couple weeks, the hot tub meta was gone. And there was a new ASMR trend that had streamers lying down while wearing leggings and ear licking their microphones. So the bans that have been taking place so far, it's not clear how long the ban will be for, but it's actually given Amouranth, am I saying that properly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amouranth a big boost to her OnlyFans, which is fantastic. And many are blaming the leniency of Twitch towards the hot tub meta for the emergence of these more suggestive metas. Man, it's wild. I'll tell you what, it is wild. It seems like a lot of the things that might not necessarily been happening on Justin TV at the point it was in its career before it switched over to Twitch are it's all coming full circle, right? Because just chatting exploded a couple years ago and became one of the most viewed categories on all of Twitch. A lot of people that didn't play games found a home on Twitch, and now you've dealt with women who have found suggestive ways to stream their content. I can't knock it. I think, look, if Twitch is going to allow these things to happen, I'm not going to stop anybody from getting their bread however they need to get it. You know what I mean? Now, I haven't watched any of the ASMR ear licking,
I have.
legging wearing. Okay,
yeah,
so
they're great.
You could probably share more insight as to what is taking place than me just reading these damn headlines.
Yeah, so basically, like, I actually watched one of Amouranth's like streams, and I could only watch like 5 minutes of it before, for me, I got a little bit uncomfortable. But because I like watched some of her like hot tub stuff, because I remember a lot of people were like shedding like light on the whole like meta, and basically, yeah, so they're laying down, they're licking a microphone, and for the amount of subs that they get, they'll do eye contact with the camera. So they're actually kind of facing away from it until they get like a certain number of subs, and then they'll do like certain incentives.
I'm about to do this.
Fuck
it. I don't know if YouTube has the same rules, but fuck it. I'm about to do it. I just won't wear leggings and I'll be fine. I'll be fucking fine. I have an audience.
Jack's gonna dump you.
I'm telling you
that these women have bent in.
I am a bear, Matt. I am a bear, and there is an absolute audience out there for a bear licking a microphone, licking an ear.
I mean, you could give it a shot. You did the hot tub stream the other week for the announcement of your new Game Fuel flavor,
and that shit sold out. And I mean, come on, I mean, it worked. So, no, I think I agree with you. Like, listen, I'm not going to take away from how anyone gets paid and does it. If there's an audience for it, great. If you're not harming anybody, great. It's not like they're sitting there doing terrible, like horrible things that are harming other people. They're licking a damn ear. People are giving them money. It just comes down to and this constant discussion that there's been about certain leniencies, certain things that have happened on Twitch about this person got banned, this person didn't, this person got a week, this person got 3 months. You know, I think the thing is that there have been some streamers now who have been banned for a few days for these things that are repeat offenders that aren't getting more severe punishments, whereas other people are getting permas or long-term bans for their second or third time having an issue. Listen, the more farts and microphones, the merrier, in my opinion. It's just, what website do the mics get farted in and licked in, and is Twitch the place for that? I guess we'll just have to see where they go with it. But yeah, 700 subs, a fart and a mic, that's a good deal.
I have a problem with other like gaming community members being upset with the actual individual creators for doing something that they've found success with. Like, I think the argument is always, oh, well, they got big on a gaming platform. This is so unfair to me and so unfair to my chances of possibly having a viewer that's in one of their streams and they could be in mine. And to be honest with you, I really think all of the blame is to be on Twitch, right? They're allowing precedents to be set, and then they have inconsistent rulings and suspensions on different circumstances. And when you have rule sets and like in operational like terms of service, it's got to be black and white, right? There cannot be any room for anything up for interpretation. So when they set the precedent of bans and suspensions, and they're not consistent with what they've done in the past and what they'll continue to do in the future, it just causes this huge mess. And so I agree with you. Like, the more farts in the microphone, the merrier. It's not for me personally, but there's clearly an audience for this. And whether it's happening on Twitch or not, that's Twitch's fault. Plain and simple. So I don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. And that's how I'm always going to feel. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Right?
No, I agree. Like, there's so many people that watch it and so many people that pay for them to do it. So, like, I feel like at the end of the day, it's really up to Twitch to decide whether or not they want to maybe possibly do an 18+ category or something. I don't know.
And I guess I do understand, I think the biggest argument that I get is the worry of ad revenue and it impacting other businesses by these things being on the website that certain brands want to get behind, and maybe these blue chip sponsors don't want to be part of it. And I do agree with that. Like YouTube has done a great job of, from day one, what to expect from YouTube in regards to what's allowed, what's not allowed. And sure, the demonetization thing in the past has been a lot of headaches, but I think for the most part now it's been pretty. I haven't, as a creator, haven't had an issue in a demonetized video for over a year or 2 years now. So, looking at this, I think that Twitch is just, it goes back to the DMCA thing. It goes back to just certain things in the platform. It's like they're in that point now where they're so big that they have to just figure it out. YouTube went through the whole figure it out thing years ago with their copyright and claiming and things like that, with their monetization, with their this. So they're in the figure it out stage. And, for as long as they're in the figure it out stage, not everyone's going to ever be happy. So, I think it's really interesting.
Situation with like PewDiePie back in the day that basically brought on the day of reckoning for like ad dollars and agencies spend on YouTube and Twitch. I'm sure I would love to know what it's like right now in the Twitch offices and what these discussions sound like, because I think it's a great point, Jack. It's got to be a really big tug of war in the office space right now with these categories. I mean, Kyedae, it's like I agree that maybe an 18 plus category can be a solution, but then you run the risk of these, Fortune 50 companies having big marketing spends on a website that supports like 18 plus not safe for work content. Yeah. And so, this is like a very nuanced issue. And I don't think that there's a perfect answer. This is something that would have been needed to be nipped in the butt a while ago. And now it's so far gone at this point that I don't think that I could even see like a clear solution if I were in the CEO of Twitch's shoes, man. Like something's got to give because you're affecting your whole business. The more situations that like this keep happening in the public eye.
For sure.
Wow. Man, that must be a really tough job to have. Like, I can't imagine like what the C-suite employees are like at Twitch right now.
No,
especially from like a partnerships and marketing perspective. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's got to be crazy.
Regardless of what you do, like people are going to be upset, right? So
yeah.
Yep. No,
it's tricky.
I guess that's another thing that I definitely if I can give advice is you're not always going to make everyone happy. You're never going to make 100% of people happy. So do what you think is morally best and be good. I remember when we spoke last, the plan was to get to Los Angeles and move here. Is that still the plan for you?
100%.
Okay. So what are you most looking forward to with that?
Food. No. Food being one of them. But I think just like being able to do more like content oriented stuff and having like the support of 100 Thieves like right there with me rather than from like remote exclusivity or being in Canada. I still think that the support's been amazing and everything and getting all the help that I need. But at the end of the day, like I said before, it's face to face, which I love the best. So I think that's like.
Well, I think I speak for Matt and I when I say like Matt loves IRL content. And it's been something that I've built out a lot more in my stuff. So, when you're here, I would I'm so down for whatever video ideas you have. I just, we just had actually the Nuke Squad, the FaZe boys moving to town where we're at. So I went and collabed with them a little bit. I've been trying to do the assistant series. And we've been doing more food challenges, obviously the content house videos. So yeah, IRL content is great. I think you're going to absolutely love Los Angeles and living here. Matt's been here for over 5 years now. I've been here for a few, and I love it. It's all about willing to go out there, get out of your comfort zone, try new things, and everyone out here wants to be something. So you got to be your best version of yourself if you want to make it, which I really appreciate because it keeps me working hard. So
yeah,
So no, Los Angeles would be great. I know you also have, you lived in a ton of different places. Like now you're in Canada. You've lived in Japan, right?
I have, yeah.
Okay. So Japan is the place that I want to go back to most in the world.
Yeah.
Is there plans to go back there once the world is open again?
Yes, 100%. So it's looking like international travel is going to be opening up and Tyson's going to be getting a player break in December. So we're going to see if we can plan something for December.
To go to Japan? Is that your plan? Oh, hell yeah.
I'm really excited. And we just bought an IRL streaming backpack and we'll probably be streaming over there and doing some like awesome stuff. So like, I'm just like super excited. I don't know. Cause like every time I have been to Japan, it's with other people that have already been there before. So like that initial excitement is kind of gone, I guess. Or like, for instance, with my mom, my dad, or my sister, or like other family members. But with Tyson, he's never been. And so
and you
like, I just can't.
And you get to be the leader, yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna be so exciting. I'm gonna take you to like maid cafes, like the whole 10 yards, right? So.
Oh man, I mean, I know Matt's already said he's going, and he's super excited to go one day. He's never been. I went for the first time with Maddie and Jackson and a couple more of our friends, and I just can't stop raving about it. I it's been over a year, and it's been close to 2 years now since I went. Wow. And I can't wait to go back for so many reasons. We did Tokyo, Kyoto, and then
Osaka.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. You went to the 3 top places. That's awesome.
And the way I describe it is like Tokyo feels like it's from the future. Kyoto is like you're going 1,000 years in the past. And Osaka for me was like going to it was like an American city in the middle of Japan, like with the twist of the two. That's what it felt like to me. And I loved it.
100%.
I mean, I absolutely loved it. So I'm hyped for you guys, and I'm hyped for Tyson to try it.
What was your favorite food over there? Did you try anything funky?
Oh, I mean, so when Maddie and I first started dating, which was a few months prior, she was like, "I won't date you unless you unless you eat sushi." So I wasn't a sushi person. Started to get more into sushi. I tried my first omakase there. It didn't go well. I'll say that because it was a little bit more on the extreme side of what I had tried sushi wise. And I was eating nigiri and things like that. It wasn't like I was eating like X roll with this and that, a million things in it. No, I was eating normal sushi, but that was much more sashimi and scallops, which I don't like, and like just like the squid, which I don't like. But soba noodles are fire. Ramen is fire, obviously. We did a whole tempura spot where we had like a private room, and it was like this whole tempura dinner, which was unbelievable. We went to so many great drink places. Yeah, there was a lot of Japan's food. It's just so good. What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
I don't know. There's so much. I really like tonkatsu, which is like deep fried cutlet. Cut up, and just like the rice and just like the sauce and the mayonnaise. Oh, that stuff is so good.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know. Just so much.
Oh, that's fire.
So this is a complete like sidebar.
Yeah, go for it. You're fine. I know you were sidebarring.
No, I just, it's weird. I like this setup that I have at the compound. I feel like it's so much more accessible than the one I have at home. And so I've just been looking at more into some of the topics that we've talked about. I've been looking at more YouTube channels, just sort of doing what I used to do. And I think what a lot of things that you do, Jack, just keeping up with members of the community, trends, all the things that are happening in our world.
Yeah.
What you brought up a couple days ago about Warzone viewership, I actually find pretty interesting. You know, obviously Tim and Nick and Cloaksy, all the big guys are off for the day, but there's $100,000 tournament going on right now, and Aiden and Swag both have 20,000 viewers. That's great and all, but like somebody like Huskers, who always did really well, he's only got like 6,000 viewers, and after him, it like falls off pretty drastically. And I wonder what the cause of it is. Is it because, you know, COVID restrictions have been lifted and people are going outside and doing all the things they couldn't do during COVID? Is the interest in Warzone tapering off a little bit? Has it become too repetitive? I think the World Series of Warzone, I'm really excited to be a part of that. I'm excited. It starts tomorrow, depending on when you watch this. But I find it interesting, man, how the ebbs and flows of games and trends online. I mean, I guess there's 153,000 viewers. It's the fourth most viewed game on Twitch right now. But it's surprising to see numbers as tapered off in comparison to like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, is it the time or like the day even? Like
in the afternoon, you got to think people are home from school, people are getting off work.
It's a mix of things. Yeah, it's a mix of things. It's definitely it's definitely been a change in the last couple of weeks with so many restrictions lifting here in the US. Like California in the last week has completely opened up. And I know a lot of other states have too. And now it's officially summer. Events are now getting back open. Sports concerts are happening. Bars are open again. And I think for me too, the thing with Call of Duty is it is one of the more casual games that are out there, right? You were to go poll people on Facebook. It's like, yeah, I know Call of Duty. My mom knows Call of Duty. My aunts know Call of Duty, and they don't know any other game. They know Call of Duty. So I think that when the world opens back up, it's one of the first examples of a game where people are like, oh, let's go out there and live again. Let me put my console down for a minute and go live. So I think that it'll even back out. But I will with what Kyedae did mention, it is a little bit later in the day. Warzone viewership, if you were to look, kind of peaks, especially for Nick and Tim and I and Cloaksy and all the boys. Probably around like 11 a.m. PST, 10 a.m. 11 a.m. PST.
Right. I totally get that, and I understand it. I've just never understood why that would be the case, though. I understand that personal streamers and their brands and the people that follow them maybe exclusively bring a lot to the table in terms of viewership. But I've always wondered why there's more viewers in the morning. I've never really understood that. Why people are getting off work and getting home from school. You'd think viewership on Twitch would skyrocket in certain time zones, but
yeah, it's funny that you say that. Like I was actually tracking like my trends with like viewership, and I have been streaming at very strange times. I sometimes start at like 4 a.m. and I go until 10.
Yep.
But yeah, I've noticed when I stream around 4 a.m., that's in Eastern time, that's like the morning. And people have said that they're watching me during like their Zoom classes, which I don't condone. I've
definitely gotten that a lot.
But yeah, like, no, I get like 10,000 people like consistently, like in the morning. And then at night, sometimes it's kind of a toss up depending. So yeah, it just really depends.
No, it definitely plays a big role. I think I'm really interested to see what happens this summer with everything going back to normal.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, things skyrocketed with our industry. With COVID, because everyone went to video games. But now, hey, I mean, we've been limited a bit more here. I know Canada, I think you guys are, I've been seeing a lot of talk online about Canada not being as open as people would want, I guess.
Yeah, we're still quite closed up, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see when you guys get back, because I mean, Canada's America's top hat. So once we get America's top hat back, it'll be good. It'll be good. I've only ever been to Canada 4 times though. I've never been to Vancouver.
I think you'd like Vancouver.
There's Vancouver badly too. I've heard incredible things about Vancouver. My friend Typical Gamer lives there, and he said it's the best.
Yeah, it's really nice, and like it's really multicultural. So there's so much stuff to do. The food is great, and it's really nice. Yeah.
Interesting. What's your if Matt and I were to go to Vancouver, what's like what would be like the top 3 things you'd recommend?
There's a really good sushi place called Miku, which I'd recommend. It's on the waterfront. That place is really good. Another one to go. I really like Science World. It's like this big dome globe, and there's just like a lot of fun activities to do there. Okay. And the last one,
I'm looking all these up right now.
It really just depends. Like Granville Island is really cool. It's like has like a lot of open markets and stuff, a lot of food stuff. I don't know. I'm like very into food, so that's like...
Hey, listen, I just looked up all these places have like a 4.6 or 4.7 rating on Google, so they're great recommendations. So
you know what I saw yesterday for the first time?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know if you've actually followed it, but I saw the Demon Slayer movie last night.
Nice.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I was really excited. I brought my girlfriend, and she had never seen Demon Slayer before, but most of those movies, the first movie of an anime is like history. You can pretty much watch it and understand it. They do a good job of making sure that you understand references from the show and really get like the foundational aspect of why we're here, how we got here. And I absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure. I was a little disappointed with the movie itself in regards to the fact that for Haley, if I've never seen the Demon Slayer show, I feel like the world that they've created is so vast and interesting, especially with how much the main character like traveled throughout the show and ventured off to new like parts of the world and how he trained and to get stronger. And so like the fact that it all took place on a train. And I know you got to go into the dream worlds a little bit. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody else. I'm not going to go too far into it. Yeah. But there were certain aspects of it that I really, really loved. And getting to see more of the one Hashira, like I just know it's going to get so much better with the rest of them. But man, I really enjoyed it. I wish they would have explored the world a little bit more, but I really did enjoy it. What were you?
Yeah,
what did you think?
No, I know what you mean. I do like the fact that they did kind of pull back into the past, but I feel like for newer viewers or people that haven't seen the full anime, it's a little bit tricky, like regards to like the main character's past with the family or whatever. I feel like people would be a little bit confused if they haven't seen it, but I feel like all in all, it was really well done. Yeah. Have you watched it, Jack?
I have. No, I haven't seen
it.
Are
you into anime?
I think that's my answer. I watched The Promised Neverland season 1. I got told not to watch season 2.
Please don't watch season 2. Yeah.
So good. That's a real letdown. Like that was the first anime that I've ever been like excited about and excited for. And then now I've literally only been told by everyone that is in anime to not watch season 2. So I'm like, great, that's awesome. So I guess I'm keeping that. And Matt's a huge Hunter x Hunter fan or Hunter fan.
Hunter, yeah.
I just downloaded the first full season on my iPad on my own. I'm very much someone that if I'm going to do something, it needs to be on my own merit and my own. Like I can get people's recommendations, but especially for something that's going to take like up my time because I value my time very highly. I need to just do it when I know I'm going to be into it and do it myself. So if I did that, that's a huge step for me. So there's going to come a time where I have an urge to watch the show, and now I'm going to be ready. And that'll probably be my first anime I get into. It's Hunter x Hunter.
Nice. That's a good one.
And then I've heard Jujutsu Kaisen's really good too.
Yes.
From Matt, which I know is not a lot of episodes, I believe. So maybe that's a good one for me to start.
There's like 25 right now, I think.
Yeah,
24, 25.
Really, really short.
I'm really bummed to hear about Promised Neverland season 2. I really loved season 1. I actually ruined probably 2 days of work for myself because I stayed up till like 3 a.m. when normally I'm asleep by 11 every single night to watch the first half of the season. And then I stay up till like 6 a.m. the next day to finish the second half.
Oh
and I didn't even know that season 2 released. And once I found out it did through some of my viewers in the chat, I was really disappointed to hear that people said it was just terrible. So I think I'm going to go read the manga. I think
yes, the manga. It's the reason why people were upset with season 2 was because they left out so much from the manga and like a lot of character development as well as a really important character. And that's the reason why people were pissed off. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was like, I'm not going to say everything. I don't want to spoil anything at all. But yeah, just read the manga. I would say like that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I mean, back when the Naruto Shippuden anime had not caught up yet to the manga and the manga had already ended, I went back and I read like everything and I was just waiting for it to be animated because I don't know what it is about anime in general. I don't think reading the manga actually ruins the actual show consumption for you. Like, you know what's going to happen, that's fine. Yeah. But seeing moments that you have to create in your head, and the manga does an okay job of sort of conveying the animation and what it's going to be, but your brain has to piece it together and you have to imagine it yourself. And I think that's really cool. And so when they finally do animate it, it just makes the universe that you've built in your own head so much more expansive, which I think is a really interesting dynamic. I've never been disappointed by reading the manga and then going to watch it later. It's always just complimentary. It makes it even better. Like, I get to live this part of the story again.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just like, especially when you see all colorized and put together and like the way that other people imagine it, I guess in a sense, is just, it's insane. Like the same thing with like Attack on Titan, for instance. Like I remember when they read the manga and it was like, it was good. Like I had no complaints about it, but just seeing it colorized and everything, it was amazing.
Yeah, the only thing that throws me off is remembering to read right to left. Like it takes me a second to get into the mode of like starting the panels on the right side, going left, then going down right to left. Yeah. It's just it's out of the ordinary for me. As soon as I read a couple like chapters, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike.
I don't know. There's some good animes. Like I'm rewatching Future Diary. I don't know if you've watched it, Matt.
I've never heard of that.
No.
You guys should watch it. It's actually really good. So it's like 24 episodes and like it's kind of like a battle royale. I really like battle royale type of animes and it's super cool.
Did you watch God of High School?
Pardon?
Did you watch God of High School?
Yeah, I did.
Man, the potential that show had or has still unreal. I think this is the last anime I think we're going to talk about, and then we can end the show. But for me, God of High School, if they would have extended it or drawn the story out another 20 to 30 to 40 episodes, I think that's the first time I've ever had that request where, look, you had an incredible story and there was so much amazement when we got to the animation and the story unfolding, but there was just so much that happened so quickly. It was just turning my head like, wait, how the hell did we get here this fast? If they would have made it like 60 to 70 episodes, I would have loved it. There was just so much potential and they just rushed it. And I would love to know what the thought process was behind it, but I really enjoyed it. I just wish it was spread out.
No, I agree with you. But then there's like that 180 other way where I loved Hunter x Hunter, don't get me wrong, but I feel like one of the arcs, like the ant arc, oh my God, they literally dragged your hair and made you watch it. Like it was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might get hate for that, but it was a little too slow, I think.
No, I completely agree with you. I've watched Hunter x Hunter through twice now, and I'm watching it a third time with my girl, and we got up until like the Chimera ant arc, and I told her, I'm just like, I don't think I could do this again. She wants to finish it. I'm just like, baby, you don't know what you're about to deal with. And sucks too because I feel like when it comes to diehard fans of Hunter x Hunter, I feel like I'm one of them. But a lot of people say it was their favorite arc, and I just don't get it. I'm like, how? I understand like the character development and the good versus evil and like the ineffectiveness of the king and all the things that he was going through mentally and the King's Guard.
No spoilers.
No, there's no spoiler. I promise it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler.
Unfolds really quickly, but then it just slows down. Like Jack, they take like 3 minutes of real time, like three actual minutes within the anime, are spread out through like 20 episodes of this show.
Horrible. Or they like rewind back to certain things and like trying to recap shit, and it's just like, holy, just please stick to the damn scene. I don't know. Overall, it's really good though, I would say.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it. I think that's gonna be my first one. But
that's the weirdest way.
this was a great episode of the show. I love having you on. I think you are so brilliant. At the age of 19, your ability to speak and you know, be a person. Be a person. Your ability to speak and hold your own in any conversation is unbelievable, and I'm so happy for your success. I'm so happy for your young love with Tyson, and I can't wait to watch you guys get married one day and grow old together. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm putting my bets in now.
You're ready to see the wedding.
Yeah, perfect. I'm betting my channel points on that. There you go. But thank you for coming on the show. Any final words you want to say before we go to the outro?
No, I just really appreciate it. Thank you guys. And thank you to all the fans as well who have been supporting me along the way. I really appreciate it.
Yay, we all love each other. Thank you,
Kyedae. Thank you, Kyedae, for coming on the show. Guys, this has been another episode of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you to Cash App. If you guys want more videos with Kyedae, more episodes of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show down the road, maybe like 6 months from now, we get a follow-up after she's gone to her first ever event. Be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. All right? Peace.